Hey there guys, how are we doing today? Well, this is quite a special episode that we're going to be doing here on the R&C Growth Lab. I am Richard from the R&C Growth Lab.
And I am Carolyn from the R&C Growth Lab.
Yeah, so there you go. So today, rather than talking about a business sector idea or whatever, I am going to interview Madam here. So there you go. So this is quite interesting. So what this does, what we're going to be talking about here is I'm going to be asking Carolyn some questions. I have no idea what these questions are yet, but it's going to be about obviously growing through the business and what we did at the beginning to sort of survive when we were sort of doing mainly detailing and a little bit of leather. It's when Carolyn was sort of like 15, 16 years old, when I first sort of met her. She was a secretary working for a company that I was working for, doing detailing work, which is the people that got me into this industry, and that's how we got together. So it all began, Carolyn came out of school at a very, not very young age, but back then obviously, so we're talking, when I'm saying back then, it's obviously quite a long while ago. So born in 1973, guys, so you might not ever see me again, so you can tell how long ago it was. Because today we're 2025.
Back in the day when kids left school at 16.
Yeah, back in the day when kids left school at 16. So yeah, sweet 16. Obviously, Carolyn met me. I was already in business at the time, doing sort of vehicle detailing, making a model car business, and one or two other things that I was doing as well. So obviously, it's been sort of like on a journey. We were obviously getting together. She was working for us. She was actually basically my secretary for the company that I worked for. And Carolyn came in to do like typing out letters and stuff like that, because obviously really emails wasn't around back then, guys. So there wasn't sort of internet and emails and stuff like that. So Carolyn was typing letters.
Typing phone calls.
Yeah, typing phone calls and stuff like that, dealing with stock management and stuff like that as well. And it was like dealing with like paperwork, to go to filing. We had cars we were importing from America and stuff like that continually. So we were dealing with like import papers, export papers, for the model car business and things with me. So what she sort of came in to do, which was going to be like a little bit of typing, turned out to be like a minefield, really. So it sort of threw her in at the deep end. And then it got, the deep end got deeper and deeper and deeper with the businesses as they started growing. So I think the transition, I think the first thing is like, obviously, completely sort of innocent 16-year-old girl. What did you think when you sort of first came into that job that you came into on that pig farm, smelling of pigs?
Yeah, exactly.
Coming to this so-called global company.
It wasn't appealing at first.
It wasn't appealing.
It wasn't appealing.
Yes.
It was based on a farm. It
pig farm.
Didn't smell
not with pigs. They were all
the
gone.
best. It was a little bit stinky. Richard was fine, but Big Richard, as we called him, there was Big Richard, Little Richard. He was odd.
Very eccentric.
He would just fall asleep at the drop of a hat.
And at the wheel
he
of
had
a car.
a disease called narcolepsy.
Yep.
So he would be talking to you absolutely fine one minute.
Literally.
And
on the phone,
be
like
fast
this.
asleep the next minute.
Yes, that's fine. And literally start snoring. I'm not joking. It was literally that fast. It was
first I'm wondering.
You'd have to pick the phone up.
Yeah, I'm wondering if am I really boring? He's just fed up of me? Does he like me? Does he not? But yeah, I settled and I got on well with the dog. The dog seemed
Scylla
to
was
like
good.
me.
Yeah.
And then Fido.
Yep. Which we ended up. Fido was a dog that literally, you hear these stories, it turns up on your doorstep. This was in the middle of the Yorkshire countryside, miles from any habitation really. And Fido turned up on our doorstep one morning. I woke up, went outside, and I'm like, "There's a dog. There's a little baby Alsatian, a puppy. Wow, this poor little dog was just dumped. He had no collar, he had nothing. Obviously, someone had got it for Christmas. Dogs are not for Christmas, guys. And he just dumped this poor dog. So Fido became our dog. And I managed to, at this point, I can't quite remember. I think I'd actually got my own house at this point. Because it was a year or two before that I got my first house. So Fido was living with me at my house in a place called Widensea, which is where Carolyn was from. and yeah, it was good fun. So Fido was our dog. He was a very protective dog, I can tell you now.
Yeah.
He was a good dog.
Bless him.
So I mean, I think, obviously, you're coming into this global company that I was also working for, and you know the expectation of becoming into this beautiful, you know, multi-story office complex. So how did you sort of manage this, you know, beautiful, this beautiful office, you know, and how did you sort of deal with that? Probably frequently having to wash several times a day to get rid of the pig smell.
Yeah, I wish sanitizer was a thing back then, but it wasn't. So, you know, the hand soap at the bathroom with the cold water, no hot water,
This was Yorkshire, guys.
Was a thing.
Back and beyond.
So it was more soap, cold water, and a scrubbing nail brush. It still didn't get that smell off.
Out,
like
no.
I wasn't touching anything gross or dirty as such.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just the lingering. It was basic.
So obviously
That's
from
the polite way.
It was very, very basic. Obviously from there, as we sort of grew, as I grew in my business, Carolynne and I started obviously courting, going out. You know, it's not like it is today. You know, you send them a text, you do this, you do that. Oh, we're now seeing each other.
10 stages
you know,
before you actually
we're now
get
drinking together. You know, oh, we're now going for walks together. We're now going in the car together. Today it's like, oh my God. Back then it was like, do you want to go out with me? Yeah, all right, let's give it a go. If it works out, yes or no. Do you know what I mean? That's how it was. There was none of this palaver that you get today. There's like almost 10 steps to get to, you know, to go out with somebody. And then when you're going out with them, it's like, we're just on a trial. It's like, oh my God, guys, you going out or not, you know? So obviously with that, you know, my business was growing. We left this employment that we were both employed with completely full-time. You know, we went completely full-time with my business. It started out okay at the beginning. You know, it's obviously a complete roller coaster ride. I was trying to sort of take Carolynne on in the business as well as sort of like my PA almost, you know, because it's very crucial that at the beginning of a business you try to have a PA with you to try to take away the mundane tasks that you've got to do. So she would be like organising appointments. She'd be dealing with doctor's appointments for me, booking appointments, you know, ordering stocks, dealing with that side of it that just took up my time. Well, I could spend more time earning money for the business rather than doing the mundane stuff that was very time consuming, that were just, they were time vampires. They were taking my time and I needed to put my time to better resources. So Carolynne sort of came to work for me. It was very, very tough at the beginning, you know, I must admit. So it didn't all work out, you know, and you ended up getting a job, obviously. So it's in what sort of happened through the job sort of process.
I started, my first job was Woolworths. Good old Woolworths.
Good old Woolies.
Yep, so I was sales assistant there. Got up to assistant manager actually, and could have easily have been manager, but then Crystal came along. So
I don't know where she came from. Crystal came along.
That happened.
Yep.
Luckily my mum was great when both the girls were little.
Yeah.
I was able to go back to work, didn't want to, but able to go back to work. My mum didn't work, so we were really lucky there to have grandma.
Yes, grandma, very, very on hand.
Look after the girls.
Yeah.
I did it a lot when they were very small, but as they got to nursery stage, school age, it was, you know, really, really handy to leave them with grandma.
Oh, with grandma, it was,
which
absolutely.
Freed me up a lot to go through a few jobs. So Woolworths post office, I worked in the post
Sounds
office.
bad, that, doesn't it? Go for a few jobs. No, it wasn't like that at all,
but
guys,
then
trust me.
I did my own thing. Yeah, I did my own thing after that, and I started a domestic cleaning business. So I was doing
Eloise Maids, which is obviously named after our youngest daughter.
Yeah, I was doing that mobile, just going around to mainly older people, either on their own or older couples that just couldn't manage to do their cleaning.
Think about the podcast that we did the other day, guys. Narrow your niche.
Yeah, older people.
Yeah, older
they
people.
couldn't manage. They still wanted a nice home and a nice clean home, but they couldn't manage to get up off their chair always and do everything that they wanted to do. So that's where I came in, and you get really close to the people.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
They become friends.
Almost like friends, absolutely, It's someone to talk to, because sometimes they're on their own, I guess, aren't they?
Exactly, it was a lot of that. Some of them, I think, that was all that they wanted me for.
Yeah, just to
So
talk
it was just a fact of you're still trying to, you know, dust the sideboard when they're trying to chat to
away,
you.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, it was good. It was nice. I am quite people-y, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And I can talk when I want to, believe
Yeah.
it or not. But it was
very often,
it was
but she
good.
does.
Yeah, it was good. And so it was really sad when I had to
Quit it, yeah.
yeah, because leather repair company got really busy.
Yeah.
So I needed to spend more time in the business rather than just supporting from you know, evenings,
after hours and evenings and weekends.
Weekends and part time and things like that. So I started dropping certain customers off, kept my favourites until really they didn't want me. Unfortunately, some of them passed away and things like that, which I won't go into. But yeah, and then I was full-time leather repair company, never looked back.
Yeah, obviously we were doing the detailing.
We did the detailing, we did gardening for a little while, on the side.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we tried that. Again, you're going to read all about that in my book.
Yeah, there was me.
Pregnant.
8 months, more or less 9 months pregnant, carrying concrete
slabs.
Paving slabs. So yeah, nothing was going to stop me.
It's just things we did to earn a living, guys, and that's what it was. You know,
it was building up a little bit of revenue
to put into
the girls. Really.
It was building up revenue for the girls. It was building up a little bit of a nest egg for them, but it was also giving us extra surplus money to invest into what we knew would be the big empire, which is obviously the leather repair industry. And it was giving us that surplus cash. We had to do things to survive. You know, it wasn't easy. And, you know, Carolynne was absolutely instrumental in the success. It would never, ever be where it is today without Carolynne being behind, you know, and working and basically being almost like a ghost in the background all the time, because everybody really knew me from the beginning. They didn't really know Carolynne. It's only because I've been trying to get her more into the forefront of everything that we're doing in the last sort of 5 years that people have really got to know Carolynne, because I want them to know exactly how sharp of a cookie she is, you know, and how good she is at doing
full
things.
Of chocolate chips.
Yeah, exactly. But
no, I've always been customer focused, really.
Yes.
When you look back at every single job I've had, right from the post-office serving customers to Woolworths in retail, and then even with the gardening, with the cleaning, it's all very pleasing the customer. Yeah. Right through. My whole life has been about serving people, really. So that's just what I'm good at.
Obviously, from there, the leather repair company grew. Obviously, you know, there's been ups and downs with that. Obviously, there's been points where we've nearly split up. How did you manage without getting emotional?
I didn't at one point.
Yeah.
I don't want to get emotional. But don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah, you've got to ask for help, guys, and that's the thing with it. You've got to ask for that help, and we are human beings at the end of the day. So it is not easy, as you can clearly tell, being in business, but it's just going through, you know, that sort of growth as well with the business, because you become too focused on the business growing, which was again my mistake, rather than focusing. You can forget your home life, so you've got to be very, very careful with what you're doing, haven't you? You've got to be very, very careful. And you know, obviously Carolynne was at home looking after 2 kids, you know, trying to deal with me because I was going through severe depression, wanting to kill myself. You know, so
I think
it
wasn't
the long
easy. Hours as well. It was when you
talk about long hours. Jesus Christ, honestly,
you know,
19
Richard
hours, 20 hours a day.
Yeah, you'd be out the door at. I'm still crying. You would be out the door at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Even earlier.
Not come home till
1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, 10 would be early.
10 would be very early. Yeah.
I would be getting up. Richard's already gone. I'd be going to bed, and he's not home yet. And that was
Literally.
how it was for quite a long while.
Quite a few years. And it was building the business, you know, and it's like, if I could look back now, I'd have definitely have done it differently, because again, like when it all began and we met, get the PA in, get the people into the business right at the beginning, guys. If you are going to grow a business, that you want to truly grow a business to be a business and not just have a job that keeps you in a living, because that's what a lot of people do. They have a job that keeps them in a living and keeps a roof over their head. If you want something to, you know, that's going to leave a legacy, that's something that's going to grow exponentially, you want something that's going to be an asset to give your children, to give your relation. When you've gone, You have got to learn to scale, but you've got to have the people there to do it. And that's the one thing that we made a huge mistake on at the beginning. Because I'm telling you now, if we'd have had the people there at the beginning, we wouldn't be £1 million company now. We would be 10, 11, 12 million turnover a year. We wouldn't be where we are now. We would probably have a team now of 100 people, not just a team of 4 or 5 people. We would have a team of 100 or more, and it would be totally different. Story completely.
I think it's slightly easier these days because, like back then when the girls were really tiny and you was going to work, that work was at work. There was nothing. Like nowadays, you can bring your laptop home. You can, you've got one of these
everywhere
at home. You can do your social media posts at home. You can do, you can find work to do, but you're still present at home. We didn't have that luxury back then because all of work was at work. The dial-up internet was at work. It wasn't. It wasn't at home. So it was
dial-up internet, guys.
It was a case of having. If you wanted to work, you had to be at work to do the work. There was nothing that could be done at home that was work. So I think nowadays it's slightly easier because you can, kind of similar to what I do now, I make sure that while I'm at work, I get all of my physical work jobs done at work in working hours. And then if I haven't got done my office job, my invoicing, my everything else continuous list as long as my arm, that'll go home with me to do because I can do that at home. I'm still more relaxed. I can still have a drink if I want one. And you're still at home, so it makes all the difference. If I want to get up and put the washing on, put some clothes on to wash, I can because I'm at home. I can still do.
Put your PJs on or whatever.
Yeah,
or if it's summertime, get a bikini on and go in the garden. You know what I mean?
I can still do all of my
with
house
G&T
chores
on the sunbed.
and still get my office space, the technology side of the job done at home. So nowadays it's easier.
I think most of the time with Carolynne, it's trying to sort of get that work-life balance right as well, which is extremely, extremely important.
Yeah, and I think I need that more than you
I don't ever switch off. So because I'm always focusing. And
I have to
because
switch off.
It's the ADHD and it's the dyslexia. My mind is.
You can't just sit.
I can't sit. My mind is an absolute minefield. It never ever stops. It is. If you could look in here, you would be blown away with the imagination in my mind, and that's the ADHD. It literally allows me the imagination. It's like I come out with things about how we're going to do and create a video for some new products that we've got coming out, and the just me talking about the storyline that I want mapped out literally brings the staff into tears because they're so engrossed in what I'm telling them, and they're like, that just sounds like a real story, and I'm like, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. That's what I needed. You're now in tears. That's going to sell my products because, and you'll understand exactly what it is when we get around to that with the products. But it's obviously from there we've grown to where we are. We had 2 locations at one point. How did that work out? Because obviously I was in Hull, you were in Withensea in the factories there. We had several factories in Hull. You had the 3 factories in Withensea. I had 3 factories here.
Yeah,
we were literally like 2 passing ships.
It was difficult. The
kids were still growing up.
Lots of phone calls. I think describes it the best.
Yeah.
It was
heated,
frustrating.
Yeah.
Because there was deliveries going to the wrong places.
Yeah.
We're like, no, we need that there, and now it's come to here, and it was just trying to keep control of 2 locations that were like 20-something miles apart from each other, and it was pretty difficult to manage. It was so much easier coming into the one building. Even when we moved everything through to Hull, where we are now, the unit that we're in now is a sizable place.
Yeah.
Before that, we were across the road.
Yeah.
And we
3 or 4 units.
We started with one, thinking, this is fine, and we soon grew out of that one, overspilled into next door, and like, oh, hang on, we're still not managing, which was awkward again, because even still, you've got to go through, bang on the door, this, that, and the other. So we got another one. So we ended up with 3 again, albeit on the same
estate,
industrial estate. It was still really awkward to manage.
Phone system was a little bit easier because we were able to, here in Hull where we are, we were able to put in the VoIP systems in. So it meant that the phone, if it rang in unit, in number 1, it would ring in 16 and 10 and everywhere else. So it would ring in every single unit. So at least we knew.
It's got slightly easier every time we've done a move. But now we're in this one.
Yeah.
Everything is all under one roof, apart from manufacturing and mixing.
I want to move again.
Which is somewhere else. But that's separate. That's split. That's not causing a problem whatsoever. Yeah. But everything we need is now here, under one roof, which is so much easier.
And obviously we've had COVID and stuff like that. We've gone through that. We've dealt with that. We set up the mental health charity to help people, especially through COVID. We invested thousands of pounds into that charity to get it going, to help people. I think from there the business has grown massively. I think it'd be worth sort of saying from the beginning of the first day, guys, of when we first began, the first sort of year, like £9,000-10,000 for the whole damn year that 2 people had to live on. £9,000 or £10,000 turnover, not profit, physical turnover sales to where we are now, scaling up, going towards the £1 million figure. The thing is, back then it was easier, and you'd think it would be easier now. But bigger money brings what? Yeah,
more problems.
Yeah,
more problems. It's never. It doesn't get easier. Things get simpler.
Yeah.
But not easy.
No.
Nothing's easy.
So you're able to invest, say, for argument's sake, in CRM. So it makes things easier. But the run up to that is trying to get it all input. Is trying to then collect it all and bring it under one roof. So then instead of going from manual accounts, which is what Carolynne used to do, you go to automated accounts. Up in the cloud. So all these things make the life easier.
You're learning everything along the way. Everything there's a new something coming in, and you've got to. Some people don't like change, but
no,
I quite like it if it simplifies my life. If it's going to benefit me a lot, then I'm all in. Yeah. If I struggle to get my head around it straight away, then I'm like, I don't really want to do that. But yeah, if it simplifies, go for it.
And I think from our perspective, so far as the building, if you're leasing a building, one of the best pieces of advice I think I'll give you, which we can do all this when you interview me, and that's going to be an interesting one because I've not made notes about what I'm going to ask her. I was doing this off the cut. Carolynne's going to make notes. It's going to be a good one. I think if I'm going to give anybody a piece of advice so far as your business, if you're going to lease a building, just remember, say that lease is $50,000 a year. That doesn't mean you've got to pay $50,000 a year, guys. If it's over 3 years, doesn't mean it's got to be over 3 years. The thing is, it doesn't mean the payment's got to start from day one. It doesn't mean you've got to put 3 months deposit down. Negotiate. Everything is up for negotiation. Everything is open. Yeah. They can either say no, or they can say yes, or they can say, I tell you what,
somewhere in the middle.
Let's make a compromise, make somewhere in the middle. Because the thing is, what you've got to bear in mind is the more cash you keep in the business, the more cash flow you have in your business. So if you can sort of say to somebody, I'll take this deal on 4 or 5 years, I'll lease this building 4 or 5 years in a full repairing, renewing lease, but I want the first year rent free, you might think, this guy's talking poppycock. Trust me, it does actually happen. Talk from experience. We get free deals. We know how to get free deals. We negotiate.
It's the way you ask for it a lot of the time as well. Yeah, I think it's
negotiate.
It's the way you ask. You can't be bullish about asking for, it's like people at car shows. If we've got a store, if someone comes up and if they're real, a bit cocky, and they ask for a discount, I'm like, no.
Price is a price. I think touching on that sort of there as well, talking about how we do it, like I've just mentioned there. One thing I will say, Carolynne, I don't get involved with any of this within our industry, and that is the actual financial side of the business, because I was not academically great with maths at school. I was absolutely shocking. Hated it, don't understand it, still don't today. Carolynne is the financial guru behind the business. And she manages everything. So I don't have a clue. I don't see orders because we deal with so many. We have another guy that deals with all the orders. Distributor orders and things like that Carolynne will deal with the team that deal with all the orders. Again, I don't see those sort of side of things coming in, but I think it's again that side of it, what Carolynne deals with the financials from day one to where we are now. I mean, there's been quite a transition, hasn't there?
Yeah.
Explosive.
Very much.
How have you actually managed to deal with that? From going from writing them down to then doing accounts, or do you do the accounts now?
I don't now.
Yeah.
I haven't done for a while. So when it first went onto digital,
Yeah.
onto a platform where you can just enter things, I did start doing
Yeah.
that. But I had too much other things to do.
Delegate.
So we've had a bookkeeper in for quite a while.
Yeah, quite a while. And now we've got one physically
Probably
in-house
10
as well.
years or more.
Yeah, now we've got an accountant in-house. So
yeah.
not just a bookkeeper, guys. We have an accountant in-house to keep on top of our figures.
Yeah, I still do all the banking, all the payments, all the
Mm.
everything else, but the data entry and the actual P&Ls and the proper figures and the printing off of keeping track of where we're going is now done by somebody else, but actual paying people and purchases and all of that kind of, the ledger kind of stuff, I'm still doing that.
Yeah.
Not entering anything on the system, but just keeping the pot.
Yeah, I think as a sort of closing thing, I think somebody that's in our position or starting out a business that is going to be a global brand like we are in 30 odd countries around the world, in a network of distributors, a network of franchisees, what would you say is the best advice you could give somebody? Obviously this is just based on what Carolynne is thinking without even really thinking about what she could advise you. So just, excuse it, guys, if you think, well, that's just a lame excuse. What do you reckon is the best advice?
I think getting the help, getting people that know something better than you maybe do. If there's something you struggle with doing, if you don't like dealing with all your receipts and things like that, get somebody else to do it.
From the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, from the beginning.
I think that was the mistake we made with our
all
businesses.
of those tasks that you don't like, that you find an absolute chore, you go home with your carry a bag full of bits of paper
Yeah.
and think, I've got to sort through all of these to give to the person that
actually does the
accounts.
accounts. Yeah, exactly.
And you're looking in a deep bag full of scrappy bits of, burger receipts and all sorts of things, trying to work out, can I claim that? Can I do that?
Give it to an expert.
Pick up that bag and give it to the person that knows what they're doing. How much easier is that? You can go home, you can focus on doing different things, doing things that you do like doing, or another job that needs doing that's not as bad as that one.
That you're an expert as well at doing, because there's certain things that I hate doing and I have to delegate them to other people because I don't understand them, I can't get my head around them, and it would be a total disaster if I tried to do them. So I delegate them, and I think that is one of the most important things in business, is try not to be Jack. You're not a jack of all trades. Mm-hmm. Try not to do that.
You can't wear all the hats.
You cannot wear all the hats. Delegate, guys. And I think that is some crucial advice that Carolynne has given you there, is get the people in at the beginning. We started off the right way. I had a PA that turned into a wife. So
That's where it all went wrong,
obviously. The PA became the
but
wife.
I think get help on the other spin of that as well. Get help mentally.
Yes.
If you are struggling, if you're really struggling,
get it straight away.
Please get help. There's lots of different ways you can do that. It's easy now. You can go online. You can do a self-help thing online. They can do therapy online. If you've got somebody to turn to on inbox, we're here. Somebody else will be there.
Meditation's a good one.
You would really be surprised of how many people will respond to you from an inbox if you say, can I just please, spill a few problems out to you, give me your advice. Well, don't be embarrassed, because they've been through it as well. I don't know anybody that hasn't struggled at some point in their life. I don't know anybody that hasn't.
Everybody does.
So please ask. You'll be surprised how many people will help you. And if you don't want to ask a person, if you still are a bit ashamed or embarrassed or anything else, then there is lots and lots of things to do online. There's a lot of self-help things online.
Yoga's a good one. Meditation. There's another one that my good friend Hans Closen talks about.
There's a lot of apps you can get on your phone that's just simple things like
Tai Chi, that's
like
what Hans
breathing.
says, That's not that's not fruit, is it?
Tai Chi.
No, that's lychees.
Oh god. No, but there's breathing apps you can do, which do if your anxiety is high, if you suffer from panic attacks, especially. The breathing app can really help. A lot of them are silent as well, so you can do it anywhere. If you're sat in a cab, sat on a bus,
AirPod in or whatever, do it that way, guys.
on the train, you know, passenger in somebody else's car, you can just watch your app, and it's a little circle, and it goes out, and you're breathing in, and it goes down, and you're breathing out, and it just helps regulate.
You must have been doing it.
I have been doing it, not lately, but I
must be causing stress.
But that really helps regulate your breathing. You don't get into that mad panic. But yeah, there's lots of this. I just wanted to touch on the mental health side of it.
Yeah, no.
There's lots and lots of help.
So there you go, guys. That is another episode. Another episode. I hope it has helped you. It is not easy being married and working in the business and then going home. We almost have to hang our troubles up on the doorstep. We never do. But we don't. But that is another episode of the R&C Growth Lab. I am Richard.
I'm Carolynne.
And she is my lovely wife. Thank you very much. I hope you liked it, guys, because we do love each other dearly, and that is us. We bring to you a lot of happiness, we hope, and a lot of cheer and reality, because we are married. So there you go. There's your reality, guys. Thanks very much. See you in the next episode. See you soon.
Bye-bye.